we're just trying to, because who they are, I don't have one on me. I just want to keep this limited as much as possible, because once this gets out, you know how this is going to turn with the, So we got to figure out what's going on first. My concern is a carbon monoxide issue.
Brand new body camera video shows us what Santa Fe County deputies discovered when they responded to the home of Gene Hackman.
One bottom, one on the top floor. German Shepherds guarding her. Last contact with them was by phone 2 weeks ago with these 3 individuals up here.
The Hollywood legend was found dead, along with his wife and one of their dogs, launching a mystery that would take weeks to be solved. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. We received roughly 20 different files of body camera video from the Santa Fe County Sheriff of when deputies responded to Gene Hackman's home. Most of them are from February 26th. All of the videos are from outside of Hackman's house and include conversations that deputies had with the 2 people who found Hackman, his wife Betsy Arakawa, and their dog. Here's a conversation a deputy had with the contractor who showed up to work at Hackman's home, found their bodies, and then called 911.
Nobody went in the house, right? Nobody went in?
No, nobody went in.
No, EMTs went in.
EMTs were the first ones.
They were very brief, just
brief, and I told them we weren't supposed to go in, and they were like, okay, because I was like, he could be in there, we don't know. I've got a way to get a hold of his kids, and so a friend of theirs, I got a hold of him. He's got a hold of the lady that's in charge of the estate, and she's saying that she just talked to Betsy a couple of days ago, so I don't see how, but she wants you to call her.
Yeah, we will. We're just trying to, because who they are, I don't have one on me. I just want to keep this limited as much as possible, because once this gets out, you know how this is going to turn with the, So we got to figure out what's going on first. My concern is a carbon monoxide issue
Kelly, she knows.
So I want to have them
Joy,
test.
do you want to come up here? Because I'm going to need help with the dogs, and you can give them this
So her family's been notified, okay? They know what's happened up there. Her family. He has a couple of kids, that from previous. They didn't have any kids together.
Okay, well,
we just now found a way to get in contact.
Right, let's just try to limit.
Any,
telling everyone, we were telling the EMT guys, look, you guys, please don't tell anybody. So anyone that I'm involving is close, because I worked for him for 16 years. Everything was tight.
I've worked for him for 28, and the bottom line was, don't ever mention our name.
Right.
Privacy was.
No, that's understandable. Like I said, we just want to figure out what's going on.
Oh, sure, no, I understand.
Because that's going to be the question, what happened, and we need to figure that out.
Right. Yeah.
So, but first thing is the safety of being inside of there.
Sure. Of course. Of course.
Are you going to do a carbon monoxide?
You're having fire come back up.
Okay.
So, but then, like I said, I'm going to have another detective coming out, and at that point, they'll probably interview you guys a little bit more in depth.
Sure.
And then we'll go from there.
Sure.
Okay. So just hang tight.
You can hear deputies were concerned about the possibility of carbon monoxide poisoning and the media attention that would come with news of the A-lister's death. Deputies waited for a gas company to search the home to make sure there weren't any leaks before they went inside. All the body cam video that we have is from outside the house. Throughout the body cam videos that we received, the people who first found Hackman, Arakawa, and the dog often talked about how private the couple was in their later years. Here's what they said to deputies as they all waited to enter the home.
And that thing's got a big vent, comes out right by the front door. So
well, that's kind of where he is, though, right?
By the front door?
Yeah.
Well, no, it comes out through the roof.
Well, it smells like it in the kitchen, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, there's nothing in the kitchen that would make enough dogs. So the only thing is the range. It's best to check it.
Yeah, I'm like, unless it could have been a slow leak for a while, though.
The range ain't gonna do carbon monoxide. The mechanical room, as hot as they keep that house,
and they keep it really.
The mechanical room's got 3 big old boilers. Like I said,
that's the one that's downstairs, right?
Yes, and that big vent you see right by up on the roof by the front door, that thing's like that big around, and so it's meant to vent. And so I just don't, and that mechanical room is pretty damn tight. I don't see carbon dioxide getting.
And it wouldn't leak through any of the kitchen appliances?
Sure, then I mean, I don't see how this is, both of them are down like this. Something's not right. And so maybe.
Well, that's why it's a little weird. Because you could smell it a bit in the kitchen, which is, you know, close to where he was, but she's not. So.
That door was open.
Right.
Her door was open. They're never open. The doors were locked. The doors were never locked up.
What are the stories that we cover here on Law and Crime prove? It is that life is unpredictable and having a great attorney matters. And that's where we bring in our partner and sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. This is a law firm with more than 1,000 attorneys and a history of winning. Let me run through just some of the wins they've had in the past couple of months. It includes a $9.3 million verdict. That was for a car crash victim in Florida. $5.6 million. That was a verdict in Atlanta for a car accident victim, and $1.8 million in Kentucky. And in that case, the insurance company was only going to offer $5,000. So even if you don't think your case is worth millions of dollars, why not fight for what you deserve? Morgan & Morgan makes it so easy to file a claim. You can do it in just 8 easy clicks. So if you're hurt, head over to forthepeople.com/OTC. You can also click the link that we have in the description or scan the QR code on your screen.
The doors are never locked. And they're all open because
Do you
of
guys have
ice.
any like photos or any recent photos of her? By chance?
No, I just seen her going in and out.
Okay.
Maybe I was just thinking about 2
These
weeks
people
ago.
are super, super bright.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen it about 2
You know who he
weeks
is,
ago.
right?
I've heard of the name, but I'm not sure who. 30, 32. I didn't think about it for a
If you were
second.
living in the 90s, you would have. He was one of the biggest movie stars.
I think if I could like, you know, see
Yeah.
something.
Did you see the thing downstairs with Will Smith? What was the one where he just looked God, what was the movie? It should be downstairs. I can't remember the movie. But he was extremely private people.
How old is he?
He just turned 95. He just had a birthday like a couple weeks ago.
And she's how old?
About 60, late 60s.
That was the most. I thought Joanna told me she was close to like 62, 63. Yeah, somewhere around there. So 60s.
Does she do they get out a bunch or?
Oh yeah, I see him every day. You know, going in and out. He always gives me, you know, because I buy vehicles. And Mr. Gay, it's time for a brand new vehicle. You know, all the time he would drive by and wave, and her too, all the time.
Yeah.
Every day they'd be going in and out. They seem happy, you know, but they go in different cars.
What time does this lady work till?
They're down there at the gatehouse. They're down at the gatehouse there.
Do you want to call her and see if she can at least get see if she can kind of just look up the last time that they were in and out of the gate?
Probably the 8th February.
What's
I
today?
think, you know,
Last contact I had with her was 2.5 weeks ago, because we've been working on the fire suppression for up in here. She's worried about fires. 2.5
So you got here and saw that the door was open, right? And saw her.
Me and him.
You guys both did.
Yeah, he walked down on that side. He checked the door on that side. It was locked, and he said, "This door is never locked." So then we kept walking, and I seen something laying there. I thought it was animals that she has.
Yeah.
Until I seen him like just buckle up, turn around, and then that's when I see him laying there. You know, it's like.
So you said the 8th.
No, the last time I seen them was probably around the 8th of February, going in and out.
Okay.
And that's like about 2 weeks, 2.5
Yeah,
weeks.
2.5 weeks.
The last
Yeah.
email I had, I think, was on the 9th.
Yeah.
For her.
Yeah.
8th or 9th. It was.
I don't think it's been that long for whatever happened with them.
On February 26th, the 95-year-old Hackman was found dead in a mudroom inside this $3.3 million mansion in Santa Fe. His wife, the 65-year-old Arakawa, was found in a bathroom on the floor and appeared to have suddenly fallen. One of their 3 dogs was also found dead. That one was inside a kennel of the house. 2 dogs were still alive on the property. Part of what was released by the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office were conversations between deputies and Hackman's daughter, Elizabeth, about what to do with the dog that passed. In that phone call, Elizabeth tells deputies to cremate the dog that was found dead inside the home and to bury it with Betsy Arakawa. The daughter also says if the dog was wearing a collar, to save it for her. She later asked for the 2 living dogs to be passed along to a family friend.
So Elizabeth?
We also have a conversation that Elizabeth had with a deputy on the phone about what to do with the $3.3 million mansion that her father owned in Santa Fe. I told her he does cover his body camera during the conversation on the phone.
The way we do things, you're next of kin. And it's up to you what you want us to do. We're going to try to lock it up the best we can. But my recommendations to you is to ensure that somebody comes and checks on this place at least once a day for a while, because the last thing we want to happen is for, people that are curious or anything like that to come up here and start taking things that they're not supposed to be taking. I don't think it happened because of where it's located. It's a very secure area, a very private community, but you never know either, because a lot of the information that we do at the sheriff's office, unfortunately, it's public information, and it doesn't take them very long to figure out where this was at, the address. I wouldn't actually doubt it if they have it already, because we had to do a search warrant here.
The Hackman family and the late actor's estate continue to fight the release of body cam videos and information related to what deputies found inside the house that day. There's a hearing on March 31st to discuss a temporary restraining order. The medical examiner said that Gene Hackman died from a combination of heart disease and Alzheimer's. Arakawa was much younger. She was 65 years old, and a person who arrived to help take the couple's dogs that were still alive pointed out that she seemed to be in great health.
She's super healthy, man. Like, she's a health freak.
Is she?
Yeah.
She never had like any medical issues that you know of?
Not that I knew of, no. She always dealt with Gene. I mean, she always, like, anything that he needed, she'd take care of him. But she was healthy, man. She got acupuncturist. Healthy foods, everything.
Did she ever disclose what medical issues Gene had?
No.
No?
He's 93 years old.
They never talked about having any, like, marital issues or anything like that?
No, they didn't. They didn't talk about that at all.
No?
No.
Okay. Anything else that you can tell us?
They were dog nuts. They loved her. You can see there's toys everywhere around their property. They love their dogs.
The medical examiner found that Betsy Arakawa died of a rare but dangerous infectious disease called hantavirus. It's carried by rodents, and symptoms can be similar to the flu in the beginning. In New Mexico, there have only been 156 cases in the last 50 years, but more than 40% of those cases are fatal. Just last week, authorities updated the public on the timeline of when the couple died, specifically altering when it was first thought that Arakawa passed away. Originally, deputies believed that she died on February 11th, and Gene Hackman lived in the home with her body for roughly 7 days until he died, with the dog passing away from a lack of food and water as it was confined to a cage. Now deputies say Arakawa died on the 12th of February. Phone data proved that she made phone calls to a local health clinic on the day she died to schedule medical care for the disease that she likely didn't realize she had that would ultimately take her life. Deputies believe Hackman died on February 18th. They used information from his pacemaker to break down a timeline. This couple, as we've said, was known to be very private. We hear that multiple times in the body camera video, and it wouldn't be for another 8 days after they passed away that they were found inside of the home. Once again, the case of whether the public will get to see more body camera video from inside of Hackman's home and get more information about what deputies saw that day could be decided next week in a hearing. We're also following what could happen to Gene Hackman's $80 million fortune. Entertainment Weekly reports that Hackman left it all to Arakawa, who died days before he did. Hackman has 3 adult children from a previous marriage. 65-year-old Christopher, 62-year-old Elizabeth, who was heard on the phone call in the body camera video, and 58-year-old Leslie. None of Hackman's kids are listed as beneficiaries in Hackman's will, which was reportedly signed in 2005, according to Entertainment Weekly. And even with the timeline of Arakawa dying roughly 24 hours after what was first thought, that doesn't change the reality that she died before Gene Hackman did, raising the question of Who's entitled to that fortune? Hackman did appoint his former attorney as the person who would be in charge of the trust if Betsy Arakawa died. That attorney, though, passed away in 2019, so it was passed on to their successor, an attorney named Julia Peters, who is now representing the estate. Betsy's will says if Hackman doesn't outlive Arakawa by 90 days after her death, the estate is directed to be administered to a, quote, charitable trust to achieve purposes beneficial to the community, consistent with the charitable preferences and interests expressed or indicated by my spouse and me during our lifetimes. The attorney representing the trust did file court documents listing Hackman's adult children as heirs to the trust, but again, they weren't listed as beneficiaries in the will signed back in 2005. We know that Hackman's children were not in touch with their dad regularly in his final days, as he's believed to have been dead for a week until that contractor found him and Betsy in their house. But in a statement to People magazine in the days after his death, his two daughters, Leslie and Elizabeth, as well as his granddaughter Annie, said, quote, "It is with great sadness that we announce the passing of our father, Gene Hackman, and his wife, Betsy. He was loved and admired by millions around the world for his brilliant acting career. But to us, he was always just Dad and Grandpa. We will miss him sorely and are devastated by the loss," end quote. In an interview with the Daily Mail, Hackman's daughter Leslie said that she and her dad were close, but they hadn't spoken with him in a couple of months. Hackman's son Christopher, who is now in his 60s, hasn't spoken to the press yet since his father's death, but TMZ reports he did hire a prominent California trust and estate attorney. As for the future of that body camera video that we haven't seen yet, the attorney for Hackman's trust filed a motion to restrict body cam video and photographs. The estate was granted a temporary restraining order limiting the disclosure of pictures or videos showing the couple's bodies and the interior of their home. It also limits the disclosure of autopsy reports or death investigation reports. The trust argued the Hackmans have a right to privacy and placed a lot of value on being out of the public eye in recent years. We'll continue to follow this story as it develops. For On the Case, presented by Law&Crime, I'm Chris Stewart. We'll see you next time.